Good morning. I'd like to show you how you can fill up Form 1120S if you are a small business, and depending on how you set up your business, you are an S Corp or you are an L.L.C that requested to be taxed as an S Corp, you are required to fill up Form 1120S for 2019. You just have to follow IRS instructions to see when your election starts. So if you are required to fill up 1120S for 2019, well, if you don't know how to fill it up, you can just hire a professional to fill it up for you. It might be a little bit pricey, but that's one way of doing it. But if you are not making enough in your business, or your business is new, you have not generated a lot of income for 2019, and you want to fill it up yourself to save some money, yes, you can do it. You just have to read the instructions and take your time to fill it up. You can find the instructions on IRS websites. When you log in irs.gov, you click on Form and Publications and you type in Form 1120S, and then you type in instructions 1120S as well. That way you can download it. You can download those form and instructions and start reading the instructions to see how you can fill up the form. But this morning I'd like to show you how you can fill up the form. There is a lot to it. It all depends on how you record your expenses, how you recorded your expenses throughout the year. It's very important that you are on top of your administrative task. So if you don't have an accounting software, you can use a spreadsheet to track your expenses and your incomes. It will make it easy for you comes task time to fill up those forms when you have all your finances in order. Is very important. And I think this year, when I'm doing those administrative works, I will just video it to show you how I record my expenses and my incomes to help me coming task time to fill up my form. So 1120 in this specific scenario, it may not, what I'm going to show may not be for everybody, all the business out there. So it's going to be very specific. So I'm going to explain the case. I have an L.L.C that I require to be taxed as an S Corp. So I need to fill up an S Corp form for it, which is Form 1120S. And later in another video, I will explain why, the difference between L.L.C. If you should fill up tasks, you should have an L.L.C. or an S Corp or C Corp. We can talk about all of that later. Today is just about how to fill up that form. And you have to have a business. Your business has to be classified by IRS as a business to meet the way I'm going to fill it up now. So in my case, it is a business, and that's how we need to fill it up. So let's get started. I have the instructions opened here, and I will put it on my website as well. You can go to www.ninasoap.com. I'll put it in the description, and you'll be able to find the instructions and the form on my website as well. So pretty much here we have the form, we have the instructions, and I'm opening the instructions for 2018. here, but you'll be able to go to IRS website to download the newer version. Okay, so, and I'll probably, yeah, I will put the newer version on my website as well. So you read through the instructions, but pretty much I like to highlight what I think is important. And I like to do that throughout so that I know where I need to go back to check when I need it. But pretty much what I like to show here is you need to first locate where you need to send in your form. So you can e-file as well. But if you're trying to save money, what I like to do is just go on IRS website, print out the form, download it to my computer, fill it up, print it out, sign it, just put it in an envelope, locate the address, and just mail it in. So here you can see the states and where the requirement that you fall into. You'll just select the address that is related to that, and that's what you put on the envelope. And what I like to do sometimes when I start, and I will first locate the address and just write it on the envelope and just file the envelope. That way when I'm done with the form, I'll just put it in the envelope. So now let's get back to our form here. I'm going to open it. And we might go back between forms here, but pretty much what you'll do when you download the form is, assuming that your business is not a complicated one, so you don't need to fill up the top unless you have to. So it all depends on your type of business. This is just going to be more specific to the business that I have. So you'll put in the date that you selected to be taxed as an S Corp. You'll put it here. You'll put the business activity code, which you can find on IRS website as well. And I believe it might be in the form. And here you'll put your employee identification number, which is different from your social security number, and that's something you have to request from the IRS when you start your business. So the date you are incorporated, or you just start the business, or you file with the state, you'll put it here on the E, line E. And here you'll put the business total assets. Maybe we should go back and find how I come up with this number, total assets, line F. So there is some forms that will help you. You have to fill up those forms to be able to calculate the capital amount for your business. Let's pull on this form here, this spreadsheet here. I like to use spreadsheets for my records. I don't use any accounting software at the moment, so it's easy for me to do that. But if you need an accounting software, yeah, it's good you purchase one if you cannot track your expenses by using a spreadsheet. And as you can see here, I have this form here that I like to call, is a balance sheet pretty much, but I like to call it Schedule L. And as you can see, I just try to reduplicate it here and fill it up to capture all the informations that I need to put in. I like to structure my spreadsheet in a way that I have the information that I need when I'm filling up my taxes, I can use that easily. So as you can see here, is just the cash. Line 1 is the cash from the bank at the end of 2018, for example. So it'll go in the column B, and here is the January 1st of 2019, and here column D is the amount at the end of December 2019. So in this part, I try to fill in my depreciation since I have office equipment, office furnitures. I depreciate them, and I like to, it's my way of filling up my sheet. But pretty much if you go online, you should be able to find instruction on how to fill up Schedule L. So pretty much the depreciations at the beginning, what I took out will be here, and this is just calculating the difference between those numbers. And here is just that same amount, and the next number down is the depreciated amount in column A added to the depreciated amount for 2019. Then I have that amount here, which is the difference between those two. And how do I calculate the depreciations? I have another sheet for that. That's why it's very important to track your expenses well enough to be able to fill up your forms. And as you can see here, you'll see that I have that sheet that I fill up already, and I try to track how much I depreciated already, the basis, and how much I depreciated prior year as well. So I've been tracking. In fact, this one is 2020. So I've been depreciating my assets year after year, and I've been recording it. And that's a spreadsheet that maybe I can talk about it later, because I have for prior year on the same spreadsheet but different sheets. So, and how did I come with this? I have other spreadsheets that help as well that I use to come up with that. But as you can, if we come back here, we have the number. If you click here, you will see that 117.74 is from this number here. $117.74. And if you are wondering how I come up with that, I have other sheets that first I like to depreciate each item, and then I'll have another sheet that I use to record all the summaries of all those depreciations. So that helps me fill up my spreadsheet that I use when I do taxes. For example, that yellow thing should be gone out of, should be moved to 2019 when I was doing it, so that I know that that's the column that I need. And you can see here that I have that number here, 117.76 down here, and due to rounding the numbers can be a little bit different, but if I'm going to use a number, I like to use the lower number for tax purposes. So when we come back here, we have that number here, and we note the difference at the balance at the end of the year. So when we go down, that will give me my total here. That's the total assets here, and your column A and B should match your liability and shareholders equity as well. Column, the top should match the bottom, and the year end top assets should match the bottom liabilities and shareholders equity as well. So when we come down here to our share equity, our shareholders equity, I didn't have much to fill in here, so I don't know how your business is set up. You might need more information than I needed, but in my case, I just need the capital stock. So for the beginning of the year and for the year end. And how did I come up with those numbers? Well, there was another form that I needed to fill up, and I'm not even sure I have it here, the one that I fill up, but I can show you two forms here that you need to fill up. One is the Part 3 allowable loss and deduction items. You can look it up on IRS website and print it up, but I think it comes within, it might be in an instruction, and I just it will be in the instructions to Form 1120S, I will think, and I'll just print it. I just cut it off from there and just save it all by itself. But that's just this form, which I will record my current year loss and deductions to come up with the total on line 13 bottom here. And there is another form, stock basis 1120 SK1. So it will be in the instructions, the main instruction to Form 1120S. So this one is called Worksheet to figure, for figuring a shareholder stock and debt basis, Part 1, shareholder stock basis. Let me see if I can find the one that I fill up quickly here. And so pretty much by the end of that, you should be able to have the total for your line that we saw earlier. So the stock basis at the beginning of the year, what I like to do, I like to have a column for the business and a column for the shareholder as well. That way I track both. And I just like to hand fill it up myself. I'm not finding mine on hand. Here. It's very helpful to fill up that form. So pretty much you'll have the beginning here, and any contribution toward the year, you'll add it to it. And if you have an income or loss during the year, that's why the Part 3 that I showed earlier came into play. That's the part 3 that I like to find and show you. But that's why that number will be on line 3. After you fill up part 3, you will bring it down here to put it on line 3. And if you don't have any rental income, you won't need those area. Interest income, you'll add it. If your bank, you have any interest income, to add it, you can add it here. Or original dividend, royalty, those will go in. But I think when you have an S corp, your income from interest should not be more than 20% of the total revenue that you made during the year. Otherwise, you might, I think there is a risk of losing that title of S, I believe. You might have to look it up to find out. So, and then you just continue, just follow the instructions. In fact, if you have income, you will put it here. If you have a loss, you don't put anything here on line 3. Loss, you'll fill it up on part 3 that I showed earlier, and I believe it'll come in here elsewhere. But then they have these other incomes as well, or if there is other losses, you'll be able to put it in part 3. So you just continue reading those titles and fill up anything that you need to fill up, and you'll have the total basis before distribution, which you'll put here. And if you made any distribution, so you'll add it here on line 5, and on line 6, any distribution will go on line 6. Line 5 is the stock basis before distribution, and line 7 will be the stock basis after distribution, which will be the difference between line 5 and 6. And line 7 is non-deductible expenses. A lot of time when you have a business, you shouldn't have much of a non-deductible expense. I have another business that is now really classified as an active business, so I have more of this session fill up for that one. And pretty much you just fill up this, and by the end here, line 15, so by the end, line 15, let's see what we have here. Yeah, other items that decrease stock basis is more important as well. If you have a business that is now classified as active, like to be a business, it's more like investment, you might have something here as well on line 13. But for this specific business of mine, I didn't have to fill up line 13. And the whatever number you have on line 15 is what your stock basis at the end of the year for the corporation tax year is. I like to do it for the whole business and do it for the partner. So I will fill up this same sheet, but I will have the business total will go on here, so it will match. And now that this is filled up, I will go back to, and you can see that's 463. That's what I'll put on line F, total assets. So it's required to fill up this line F for 1120S. But for 11CC, is it 11? Let me see here. 1065 for Form 1065 partnership or L.L.C. Line F is now required if your income is within a certain limit. But for S corp is a requirement to fill up this total asset. So you have to do some work first, primarily work first before you get to this number. And when we move down, you have pretty much line G here, I like to select no. Depend on, you have to fill it up based on your situation as well. And you need to select the number of shareholders in your business that you have to send in Schedule K1. So it'll go on line I. And we move on to line 1. And as you can see here, you'll put your total gross here, revenue here. And you'll have your total, that total will come here as well, unless you have some return you need to deduct out of it, depending on your business. And line 3 will be the gross profit. Depending on what you have in line 2, you calculate your line 3. So when we count down, you will have your total income or loss. That will be on line 6. And you just continue. You just read the instructions and continue. So the first part is for income. And if your income, if your business is an L.L.C, is a business, you didn't require to be classified as an S Corp, then you fill up 1065. And that 1065, I'm not going to really go into that with this, but pretty much you are going to fill it up same way. You are going to fill up the income part here for it because you are classified as a business. So you'll fill up this income section for it. Pretty much that's the part 1. And we just come down here for deductions. So you have to be on top of your record, your expenses, how you record your expenses and incomes, so that it's easy to fill up these forms at the end of the year. They are a little bit tricky, but if you have your numbers on hand, you do yourself a big favor. So here we have total compensation for officers. So if you are the owner of the business, then you are an officer. I'm just assuming that's a small business and you are the only one running it, unless you hire somebody to run it. So you have to know your titles in the business, the titles that you are using. But if that's just you, generally you'll fit this category. And now the salary and wages under line 8. And there is a form 1125E that you might want to look for and see if you need to fill it up or not. You may not be required to fill it up, but it's good to just look it up to see the instructions to see if you are required or not. Otherwise, you just fill up line 7 here with everything you pay yourself during the year. But if you took out a lot of benefits, then you might have to fill up that 1125. But if you just pay yourself salary, then you should be okay with this form without 1125. But if you fill up 1125, then you need to make sure you attach it as well to the form when you send it in. So you put your income that you pay yourself, your salary here on line 7, and we move on. If you have other employees that you pay, you'll put it in as well. If you have repair and maintenance, you'll add it in. But here, repair and maintenance, when you read the instructions, is more related to the product that you are selling, to rent real estate. So it's now really related to the, how should I put that, the business. It's not, well, you just have to read the instructions to see, because I don't put my maintenance. There is a supplies. Pretty much what I wanted to see is there is a supplies listed here, but it's not like office supplies. It's more, they will say labor and supplies. It's more about calling somebody in to do some work for you, and you have to buy some supplies, pay that labor, that contractor, and pay for some supplies to get the work done for you. So those will fit this category of line 9. But if you have office supplies that you need to put in mail, shipping costs like mailing your envelopes and things like that. Generally, I like to put those expenses under line, probably line 19. And then you have some taxes and licenses. Here, pretty much while you pay yourself, like when as employer you will withhold some income tax from the salary, from the employee salary, that you took it from the employee salary. Then you will withhold half of the Social Security and Medicare as well from the employee salary. And as the employer, you have to pay half of the Social Security and half of the Medicare. That half that you pay out of your pocket will go under taxes and licenses. Additionally, the FUTA, the unemployment tax that you paid, will go under this category. But guess what? If you choose cash method, cash accounting method with the IRS, and you have not made those payments to the IRS yet for 2019 and we are in 2020, I don't think you should be putting those expenses here under taxes and licenses because it's still sitting in your bank account. When you have cash methods, you record the income when you earn it, and you record the expenses when you pay it, not when you incur it. So when you choose accrual method, you record the expenses when you incur it, even if you have not paid it during that year. So if you have accrual method with IRS, then you will put your taxes and licenses, which will be your 2000, for example. That will include your FICA, which will be your employer's side of Social Security and Medicare, and your FUTA that you will pay for 2019, even if you have not paid yet, but that's what you intend to pay. You'll put it on line 12. But if you have the cash methods and you have not paid them yet to the IRS, then you should be not including them here. That's why I don't have anything in there, because I have FICA and FUTA to pay to the IRS, and I send them in this year 2020 for 2019. Therefore, I didn't put it in here, but in 2021, when I'm filing taxes for 2020, I'll be including that here because I have cash method. So let's go down. Depreciation now claim on 1125A or elsewhere. They will go on line 18. I don't know if you recall, we have 117.74 somewhere, remember? So that will go here, and that's just 118 because we don't use this form with cents. So you just put the dollar sign and you round it. If anything about 50 cents will be rounded to the nearest, to the highest number, dollar number. But even anything below 50 cents or equal to 50 cents will be rounded to the nearest lower number, should we say. So 117.74 is rounded to 118. Let's continue. If you have any cost in advertising, you'll put it here. Pension, if you have any pension plan, then you'll put it there. I don't have any. Employee benefit program, you read the instruction, you will see what fit under that category to see if you need to fill it up or not. And other deductions, that's where I like to put my deductions, but you have to attach a statement. Let's go see what statement I have here. In fact, if we can close some files here first, how we have room to open more. Okay, don't know where that thing came from, but I can close it. Okay, this is the supporting documents. and that's something you'll add it to your form. And I like to track it for all the year on my spreadsheet. So I just have a sheet for each one of the year. And for 2019, we have, a biannual report to file with the states that are listed. I didn't have any reimbursed employee expenses, have supply and mail, have tax software, no PO box fee, and that's my total here. For line 19, I have this that I will send in, but make sure you put your employee identification number on it. And if we go back, you see that's 335, the total here. So it will go on line 19 here, and then we just add that attachment. I like to print it out and add it to it. So as we come down, you'll see that line 20 is just adding line 7 through 19, line 7 through 19. Line 7 through 19 cannot be 4cc1. Let's open the calculators here. Total deduction, add line 7. Oh yeah, that's that. So that's this. Don't know if you can see here. 108, 118, and 235. Total to 4cc1. So that's $61 over the income. So that gives us line 21 to be negative cc1. And your negative number, just put them in parentheses. Now we move down, and as you can see here, I don't have anything that fall in this section bar, but if you do, read it through and fill it up. And when you come down, after you print things out, you will sign it and date it. But you can put your title, and you can select if you want Iris to discuss anything with anyone. I like to just say no because I'm filling it up myself. I'll just say no. If you are filling it up for yourself, you might just select no as well. But then you have Schedule B. And Schedule B will have a lot of questions. But first, you will see the business activity type. We'll go there. And that's where you select your accounting method, whether it's cash or accrual. You have to select it. And you'll have, the type of service you provide. But then you follow the instruction, you just read the narrative here to see if that's yes or no. If your business is simple enough, you should be able to fall under no category for quite a bit. And there will be one when you might fall under yes category. And that is line 11, question 11. Does the corporation satisfy both of the following conditions? The corporation's total receipts for the tax year were less than $250,000. Is it? Then yes. The corporation's total assets at the end of the tax year were less than $250,000. We saw it earlier on line F what that was. So if the answer is yes, the corporation is now required to complete schedules L or M1. So you are not required to fill it up, but pretty much that's why I fill up. That was the balance sheet. The schedule L is just pretty much the balance sheet that I showed you earlier, where the assets at the beginning of the year should match the liability and shareholder equities at the beginning of the year, and the year end for assets and liabilities and stock equities should match each other as well. So that's where that came from. And I don't know if I really pointed out, but as you can see here, you have that number that should match this number here that should match this number here at the bottom, and those two will match as well. But yeah, you can see that match mine at the beginning of end doesn't match. It's because I have now filled it up right from a year and drag it all around, but I was able to fix it. So yeah, that's how you fill up that schedule L. I like to fill up myself too, is that just helps me to track my information, my financial information, so that I can easily fill up the form. But you are not required to fill it up, you don't need to send it in pretty much. And as you can see, that negative $61 that we overspent, it will flow all the way down to Schedule K, Shareholder Pro Rata Share Items. So you have to fill up Schedule A with your information. So if you are your business is classified as active business, you fill up Part 1 where we just came from, but then the difference, the loss or the revenue will be on Part 1 here of Schedule K. That's ordinary business income or loss. And if you have any real estate information, rental real estate, yeah, we'll continue. But then let's continue here. I didn't really have to do much here. But you have to read it through to see if you have some information to put it in. And even the deduction side here, I didn't have anything. And pretty much when you are filling up Part 1, when you are required to fill up Part 1, depending on your business, chances are you won't have to fill up anything really on that Schedule K, because everything, all your expenses will be here, your income will be here, and the difference, that CC1 will go to Part 1, and that's pretty much it. You'll have it here as well. I think we skipped Schedule K1. Yeah, so you put on Part 1 here, and you may not have to fill up anything else here. But once again, you can read through your instructions to see how your the type of business you are in, and this one is a service business, so that's pretty much what it is. Similarly, when you have 1065 for your business as well, and that's a business, you fill up that top bar, and thus the difference, the revenue or the loss will flow to K1 line 1, and that's pretty much it. You won't feel anything. But if your business is not active, is more passive, is on the passive side, you won't be even filling up 1120S. I don't know, depending on how you are classified, but if you are 1065, your information will be more, your data will be more on Schedule K. Nothing will be on Part 1. But if you are in the business, if your business is classified as a business and if you are active in it, your information will be on the top bar and not much on your Schedule K. Your Schedule K will just be your profit or your loss. Let's move on. We will see that really not much was added to it until we come down here to income loss reconciliation. So that just CC1 flow all the way down here. But please take time to read through it to see if you have any other expenses that will fall under that category, because you didn't include it on Part 1. And that's the Schedule A. That's pretty much this schedule that I took out of this to reconstruct on my spreadsheet and use to track my financial information for my business. And that's Schedule M. Remember, if your income is less than 250 and your asset, if your income is less than 250K and your asset is less than 250K, you are not required to fill up, to attach Schedule L and Schedule M1. So you just leave them blank, and you are not required to fill up Schedule M2 either. So you just leave those bar blank, and you are done filling up your tax, your form. So the form itself is easy to fill up. if you have all your finances information in order. That's why throughout the year it is very important to record your income and your expenses, even if that's once a month. I like to do mine once a month, and I might video it to just show how I track my business expenses. Because I fill up this form myself, I know those expenses that I have to put in, and I design my spreadsheets in a way to record those expenses and incomes, so that when it's time to fill up this, I just have my totals to use. That makes it simple for me, but it still take a while, some time to be able to gather all my information and start filling up the form. Thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Ojuna Marininette Liberman, creators of Marininette Liberman's YouTube channel and owners of Nina Soap, and my website is ninasoap.com. I will put the form 1120S on my website, and I'll put the instructions as well on the website, as well as the stock basis 1120 SK1 and the loss 1120 SK1 on the website. I don't know if I talk about the instruction, but I add the instruction as well, so that you can download them, or you can download them from my website, or you can download them from IRS website by logging into irs.gov and click on form and publications. But if you don't know what form you need to download, then you can just go to my website. On the far right, no, on the left sidebar, you just click on, you look for free downloads, and the free downloads section, you will see task forms and instructions. You just click on it, and it might require you to log in to see the forms, and you just follow the instructions to do that. And you might have to go back and confirm the email to be able to log in, but just come back here and click on it as well, and you'll be able to access the forms to see the forms that you need. But I believe the 1120, I don't know if I still have the instructions open here, but it is due by March 15. So at least that's what the one 2018 that I have here open is. So unless it's a weekend, usually is around the 15th of March. So just keep that in mind and start working on it already. But as of end of January, you have the SSA, Social Security, that you need to log into their website and report your W-2s if you have not done it yet. And you need to fill up form employer annual federal tax returns for, I like to call it FICA, which is your part of Social Security and Medicaid that you withheld from your employees' income, as well as their income, the one you withheld from their incomes, and the one you have to pay yourself as well. You need to turn those in, so you need to report those on that FICA, which is 944, if that's the annual form you are filling up. And you have the further form 940 that you need to fill up as well for employer annual unemployment tax form, tax return that you need to fill up as well to report your unemployment tax that you need to pay on your employees for the year 2019. Those are due by the end of January. So it's really important you get those done, and then you move on to 1120S if your business is an S Corp and you want to fill it up yourself because you want to save some money by doing it, or you don't have enough coming in and your business is simple enough, you'll be able to fill it up yourself. Otherwise, you can pay a professional, a CPA or an accountant to do your to fill up your 1120S for you. But once again, you can just download up from the IRS website, save it on your computer, fill it up, print it out, sign it, and just mail it to the right address. Thank you for watching.